Hey, how you guys doing? Alright, let's do this thing. Okay, this is a game between Leslie So versus Shaq. And it's actually from I believe it's from today's game. The 6 2023, 2018. So it's going to be a pretty good one. Let's see how it goes. D4, D5. So it's more of the queen. It's like a queen's gambit. One second, let me get a drink of water. I apologize, guys. Better now. Okay. Sometimes I get dry a little bit. Okay. That's a sweet tactic because, of course, you see if he takes, boom, he loses a piece. Knight takes. Oh, you gotta love that. What they do for these blitz games is they kind of throw some odd lines out there, and they do irregular openings, and then the players are like, huh, how do I handle this? And that wastes, a lot of time them trying to go in their brain and find out what the proper move response is. Okay, so castles. Okay. I like Wesley's position better than Shaq's because he has a lot more potential for an attack along here. Uh, and he's going to bring the other rook over to D1, FD1, and then he'll have the domination of both files, which is really strong. Ooh, sweet plays there. Yeah, because that is an interesting idea to say the least. Because now you're pinning the knight to the bishop to the rook, and the only way to handle that would be to retreat back, but then that's passive. So it depends. So he tries to do active as well. Oops, yikes. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry. Some reason that glitched on me. Okay. So what he did after he moved AD8, A to C8, sorry. He played Queen B1. Now there's an attack on the Queen with potential discovery. Queen B6, Mama, Shaq said basically he did this as well to kind of get off of this file. And boom, there comes in an attack. B5 and smack. You gotta love that. Because now if B takes, knight takes, G take, oops, sorry. B takes, sorry. Queen takes pawn. Bishop takes knight. Pawn takes, one second. Excuse me, I had a tickle there. And then the queen comes in because this is a weak point now. Potentially, the bishop will go to e4 and then threaten mate. There drops a pawn. And so now if rook takes, there's a sweet idea. If you take here, you lose a queen, so he can't take. And h4. So he has to guard the pawn on f. Excuse me, f2. So it's kind of like somewhat forced that he has to. Well, let me see here. Excuse me. Trying to see. Is it actually forced though? Let's see. If we potentially play Rook C8, it comes up. Check. Maybe it is forced now that we think about it. Yeah, I believe it is forced. Yeah. There is and because that does block this, yeah, I kind of see that you're kind of forced to actually take. Let's see if our idea has any merit with the computer, though. Okay. So it's a draw. Uh-oh. Spaghetti-o. Okay, I see what you're saying. So basically, intercepting there. Oh, perpetual. Could have bailed out with a perpet. I didn't see that. Well, let me see here. Excuse me. Yeah, if he plays there, you get checkmated, so. Hey, how you doing? And then King F8 is playable here, because the only way to avoid kind of potentially not getting mated, you have to activate. We're coming towards an endgame. Wesley is ahead 2 pawns, if you want to think about it, because he's got 2 pawns. Yeah, 2 pawns. Attack the rook. And comes, this is a potential idea of a, if he takes here, potentially bishop to c6 with a threat of mate is in play. So like I'll show you, if he takes here, there's really only one way to kind of handle that, and it would be, let me see, because now we checked. Let's just say he grabs the pawn. Okay, covers that and that. So he really can't, he could run there if he runs here. I guess closer, so. I want to see what happens if he takes. Oh, you bring the rook there, attack. Oh, I see. You actually will, you'll win a, then if he intercepts there, you take. Okay, dokie. Okay, first you have to go there, snap that pawn off, you come up, okay, alright, because all you gotta do is keep this pawn on the board and get rid of these two pawns and you're good to go. Excuse me. You're kind of stuck in that line. Otherwise, you go back here, and then you get checkmated. So you're kind of stuck with a fork. That's kind of why these knights are very rambunctious. First, you take there, it takes, and this time Wesley has two passers, so he can just bring his knight over and gobble these pawns up. Come up and gobble that one. These will hold the king off. So you don't really want to move these until you get these gobbled up. So just you got to keep that in mind, that you don't want to provoke any weaknesses while you're trying to get these two passers. So okay, that was Wesley versus Shaq. Now this is Shaq versus Fabiano Caruana. And he's playing as black. So d4, knight f6, c4. So they're playing. He's playing the normal Indian game, and this is the East Indian defense. Kind of transposed into a Queen's Gambit decline traditional line. The Queen's Gambit decline is similar to this. If you were to play if I'm not mistaken, I believe, let me see if this is the Slav. I'm thinking it is. If you play d4, he plays here. That's the Slav defense. And then if he plays there, Slav 2, and then you play up, and it's the accelerated Slav. So that if he takes, you take back, and at that point you kind of have a very interesting somewhat of a French defense kind of setup, because you've traded off your knight. I mean, that's what my teacher told me. It's kind of the reason he plays this sometimes is it represents a French, and he liked the French. Okay, so back to the game at hand. All right, the Vienna defense takes. Oh, he's trying to hold. You really can't. I don't believe you can hold these pawns. I don't think they're possible to be held at that point. I think at this point you would have to play kind of that, and this is how you can undermine the structure. You have to be really careful, because if you play there, he can actually take at this point. And then you'd have to take there and take. So yes, there's certain ways of dealing with this. You sometimes can't hold it, so you have to just give it up a little bit. But in this line, it's Wesley's kind of trying to make Shaq. I meant Wesley, sorry, Fabi. Fabi's trying to make Shaq have to do something about this structure here. It's kind of all based on time, because this was a 5-minute game with a 2-second a 2-second delay, which a lot of players flagged. So Queen C2, A5. There we go. B3. C takes B. Queen takes. And then now Bishop takes. And Fabi's going for the big time attack here, potentially with a push. So D1. And boom, B2. Wow, you're getting that close. This is kind of scary this early. You really don't want to kind of have something that close, because you have to be. It forces the exchange of a piece, because the queen's going to go under fire, and then you take. So Fabi's up basically, let's see, about at 2 pawns. Let's see if we're right. If the computer agrees that it's 2 pawns. Oh, it's a draw. Huh, I thought it would be, thought he'd be up more. One second. Excuse me. Okay. Takes. Just allergies. I have allergies slightly. E4. Bishop A8. And then the queen, oops, I gotta turn off the engine. We don't want help from the engine. We want to do this ourselves. Yeah, you have to have courage, because you're up a whole rook. So now you have to get your rooks to their optimum attack. And they love being on half open files or open files. So that's why Fabi placed his excuse me, his rook on D8 and C8. So rook B8, rook E1, G8. We have knight to F1, and then king. Now we have a pin. The G pawn's pinned to the king. So potentially, if we could snap that pawn off. And of course, you see, if he plays that, you just play up. You shut down the whole, and then maybe he can get something started like that. You never know. You never know. Excuse me. Okay, dokie. And he's just piling in the pieces. There we go, double attack. And then he resigned here. Because I don't know, probably if he plays here, that's lost, so. He takes there and then he resigns, because really there's no way to save this game. He could try there, and then if you try grabbing, is there enough time to stop the? Yeah. You develop a knight and you stop that. We potentially could just, yeah, take, and then if takes, and that's mate. So you don't even have enough time to queen. So we'll go into our London training now. that was, I want to show you two games from the Blitz today. Alright. Let's take a look. This is D4, D5. First of all, we have to get our notation ready. D5, Bishop F4, Knight F6. Kind of, this is the most standard line you're going to see. C5, C3, Knight C6, Bishop D2. This gets an exclam because you have to be careful of a threat idea that potentially could arise. If you play here, hey, alright, I'll play here. This is a potential idea. That's why, that's kind of why he played D2. And if this comes to pass now, you can actually take, and you've won a piece. Before, you weren't able to maneuver, and if he takes here, then you just take back the pawn. There's really no way to play there because of the bishop. So that's why let's actually get D. Okay, Queen B3, B6. All right, you have the game. You want to? We can go over the game real quick, and then we'll get back to this part. We're at the move 5, so let's put a line there. Let's see. There's also an alternate line that they said potentially could be played, which is F5, Queen B3, Queen D7. Oh, not East. Yes, D7. All right, perfect. This is the we'll go over the alternate line. That's where we're at right now, right here. So I'll put a star by it. Alrighty. Let's do this to it. Yeah, it's sad that our boy Wesley lost in this one, but sometimes it's by time, so that's the only problem I see with Blitz and Rapid is you know, Rapid borderlines on it being too fast. Oh well, yeah, we'll find out on that one, but you know, it goes back to, there's something about classic. I know the games are really long, but the thought pattern's so good. Because these guys think I understand real fast, but there's something about a classic game when they have like time to just you know, calm down and focus. Like Fabi and Wesley are really good classic players, but they have issues with Blitz. Okay, this is for the reason. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like if you play the London system wrong, it backfires in your face. It's kind of like if you, like with any opening, if you play any opening incorrectly, it's gonna backfire on you, and you're gonna be like, oh, what just happened? And trust me, it's just a sad state if you didn't plan properly. There's ways of doing draws even inside the London system, so I'm surprised that the London system actually got defeated. It's pretty solid of a opening for white. You have to have really gone wrong to have done that. Let's see. So this is, let's see here, here. So there. So he's now attacking here. Oops, that's not what I want. Don't do that. Okay, that's under fire. That's under fire. That's under fire. So potentially, if he snaps that off, Wesley could potentially snap that off. If he plays there, then you could drop your knight in. And now you're attacking the queen, and you have a really nice knight there, and then the knight would have to take, a rook would take, and then rook takes, and then queen. I kind of like this. Even if he loses that, you still have somewhat of an attack coming down the. I don't think it's gives you enough counterplay, but still is a cool idea. Very closed position. So it's all about subtle moves. Surprisingly, I would say that white is slightly better here. There is a lot of attack on the king though, so he's got expansion on the queen side, and Grushchak Alexander has expansion on the king side, so just gotta be wise when it comes to to your attack. Okay, there. If he retreats back. I kind of like that, because now you're getting ready to play here and there. So Wesley is trying to hold. He's getting ready if Grushchak tries to break. He can't take there now because it's double reinforced. So he might try a retreat, having a double attack there. But then now you have the ability to swing over. Yep, that is true. You do run into a disaster on the board. Yep. Surprisingly, Wesley went down in exchange. What was he planning? I want to see what the computer says is the best move here. kind of, rather than taking with the pawn, I'm kind of liking that. That's just my opinion. I like the bishop takes. It gives the king a flight square. I don't know if I like pawn takes. I like keeping. I understand that if he like comes here, you could take there. So I guess that does hold everything. Yeah, you gotta be careful because of this right here. Yeah, that was a nice one. Now you see the problem with not having this bishop come here. That's a huge sitch. I know you're this pawn. You really badly want to take this pawn, but this bishop would have closed everything up. I want to see if the computer likes my it liked our idea better. Let's give it the whole time to think, because I think the other one just allows for the demise of black a little too soon. Okay, basically there. So bishop takes, okay, then knight g4. Yeah. True. I think it's best to play. That makes more practical sense than if he takes there. He takes there, and now if takes there, there's no queen move, so. Oh, I gotcha. No, okay. You're talking about, oops, let's see here. Talking about that, okay. I think it's equal at this point. Yeah, it's winning for, is that what you're talking about? Oh, g5, okay. I'll play g5, okay. You take, takes, 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 bishop takes, pawn takes, rook takes, bishop seals up, and you have to hold on. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Interesting for sure. If white has the two bishops, that probably would have been better for. Okay, yeah, I did knight. Oh, okay, let's see. Knight g5, right? You play knight g5. Okay. And then we play knight. Okay, after we play queens there. Yeah. And let me see. Then at this point, we go g4. Yeah. There. And I believe that it potentially would go to a draw, yeah. The best chance would be for, I'm gonna say white to win here. I'm liking white because if you trade here, then you take there. Boy, this is a tough predicament you're in. So the queen's not gonna be able to trade. It's gonna have to move somewhere. Yeah, because if you trade, you're basically, it's over. You're done if you trade. Yeah. So you're gonna have, that has to be deleted. So the queen's gonna have to come over here to guard the pawn. And then knight takes, basically. Oh, the king moves, huh? What happens if we take? Oh, you could push. Oh, it cuts that off. Yeah, that's not fun. No. We don't like that. So, gotcha. So you can't really take. Ouch. Okay. So first you have to play there, and then if he plays there, alright. Then, okay, you start fleeing. If he takes here, you have to, you kind of have to do a somewhat of a retreat. Then, okay, now we're reconsolidating everything. Huh? Potentially a draw at this point. Then, who'd have thunk? It takes there, so it's a draw. Basically a. And there's no way to make any in routes for black, so our white, this is a plain out draw. Yeah, that'll lose though. So like if you take, I believe it might be a draw here if you take as well. Slightly better for white in that line. Okay, you get this locked down. Now we can maneuver our knight around. That'll be sweet. Yeah, I think it would eventually end in a draw. So I really don't see any. I don't really see any way that white can make, or black can make any progress. Yeah, it's too hard for either side to get in there. Because every time that the king would try to get around here, the rook would slide back and forth, attacking along that line on the rank. So that was kind of sad. It should have ended in a draw, but it didn't. Okay, let's take a look over it. We'll pick up at our subline of the subline. C4. Oops, come on. I'm pretty sure c4, d1, a6, bishop e2, because we have to develop bishop e7, because we want a castle. This is actually subline. Let me see, bishop e3, knight e5, knight takes e5, bishop takes e5. Taking is a dubious line. It's not as good, because knight a4, knight f3, g5, bishop g3, and then h5, and that gets actually an exclam. That move does, because you're now you're the one that's attacking. Because if you play there, he can actually just take at that point. And then you castle queenside, and then you have an attack with g4. So that's why that was played. Okay. Okay, let's continue on. e5, castle kingside, g4, exclam here. g4, you gotta love it. Bishop g6, h4, boom, b5, queen b5, bishop takes knight, bishop takes bishop, hold on, sorry, not bishop takes, g takes, let me make sure I do this right, g takes, h5, bishop e3, bishop takes, c takes, and then b3, and this is actually from a game. Let's see if the game comes up. Yep, this is the game right here, ended in a draw. This is the game. So it does have it. That's one line. Then if we go back, rather than this, there's another line B. This is line B here. Let's see. Bishop g5 or g4. It's also a common choice. It was recently played in a Blitz game on ICC. It was a Grandmaster, an IM played it. So this book's a little bit older, so it's probably an older ICC game, but it's from one of the Blitz games on there, and so he's going to show us that you can actually play b6, c takes d, queen takes b, and then takes. So this move right here actually gets an exclam, because you're trying to draw the queen away so that you can grab that right there, and then you're forking. So if he takes, you can actually take here, attack. So like a rook would have to move there. That's why the queen takes, and then a takes. Then e5, g, bishop takes c5, b4, d6, knight g there. Oops, wrong knight. d7, knight d7, or sorry, knight d7, e through e6, g5, bishop f5, e4, boom, d takes e, g takes, and bishop c7 here, because you don't, sorry, I have to get rid of that. Bishop c7, e7, f3, f6 to fortify this, the pawn on e5, c4, c4, and then castles. Let's see here. What's the move? Knight c to, hold on, where's cd? Trying to figure out where to see here. Oh, there. Oh, gotcha. Sorry, it's this piece there. That makes sense now. And then that's a mistake. That actually is a mistaking move, because it allows for the knight to actually take back. Let me see, bishop. Yeah, knight takes d6, that's right. e6. And then knight takes b, and you're actually winning here. This is an internet game that he actually played on the person who wrote this book. So that was kind of a interesting line, a little bit long, but you gotta always, I'll leave that for you guys to look at. So let me see, since we did that, so we have b6, okay, queen b3, we have to bishop f5, and oops, sorry about that, guys. He's intending to play c4 on the next and win the either that c4, queen takes, pawn takes, and if you play here, you get the same type of bind on. It said that at one point there was a Boris Boris, and it's G. His last name is Grachev. It's one of the actually highest rated players to play the London, and the move he played was on G6 with an exclam move. And if you play, this is the idea, if you play knight f, or knight gf3, c4, queen takes forced, A takes, A3, B5, rook A C1, H6, H3, G5, H2, bishop H2 to dominate the open file. Then you play bishop to F5 to kind of, then potentially we can actually play F6, and we have a really strong bishop, and we've opened this up. And black has pretty good play in my opinion. I like the play black has. E6, there we go. Or like our idea, 95. D7 to kind of 97. And if he takes here, we could just take back and have the called the master setup for pawns. So like if he ever took here, which he didn't take, this would be considered the master setup, because the this is your base pawn that would have to be attacked, which is called the master pawn. The C6 pawn would be your master pawn. So that's kind of why he didn't take. He took here on D7. King takes D7, and then white castles. F6 on 6. E1, because we want to see if we can't get our pawns rolling up the board. G6, bishop G6, and bishop D1, and we're going to see if we can't potentially trade off maybe the bishop something, or maybe push here. White's position's really cramped. D6 to see if we can't trade that bishop off. Bishop takes G6, king takes G6, and then E4. A to E8, rook A8. Bishop F3. Now all this is connected, so if it allows us to take, and if he takes, we take, and we have an open file domination. F5 is played. E takes D5. E takes D5. G3. It has dynamic play for both sides potentially. This is potentially equal. So I really like that. That was a really cool game. Bishop F5 was played on that. I like these sublines that he proposes. So you take here with an exclam. Queen takes. A takes. Yeah, Fritz, and he was using, this is the era of Fritz. One sec, I gotta get a drink of water, and then we'll get right back into it. One sec, bear with me. My throat's better now. Just a little dry. This was the era of Fritz, when Fritz was like really popular. It's still popular probably, but it was considered really a strong engine, and it said that this was what Fritz actually thought was an interesting move. Takes, and then it looks at E5, G3, bishop G3, E4, 94, bishop to B5 to pin the knight, F6, and knight A5 to double attack the knight. This gets an exclam because you're thinking, oh no, the knight's gonna get attacked. Nope, because it can't be attacked, it's pinned. I know, that's like, whoa, that's a shell shock, huh? Let's see if I, okay, and bishop D7, knight takes B, up here, Queen takes bishop. Queen takes, not queen takes, bishop takes, knight, bishop takes. For some reason I had a queen on the brain. Then a5. a4, bishop a4, b4 to cement this. Now we have a protected passer, but that pawn will fall. So it's like, whoa. a3. So we do now have a pretty darn strong formation. So I think we're okay. But look at white. Look at black's structure though. It's like massive. Yikes. Then there's also another line they're saying if let me see here. Let me see. Hold on. What did I miss here? Okay. Takes. Okay. Okay. It's after this move here. Sorry. A5 is also an idea. And then knight d4 with an exclam. This is the secondary line. Line B. Bishop d7. And knight g fe 3 e4 knight e4 knight b5 to see if he can't potentially win us a rook. Castle queenside. Bishop to c, and we're now attacking the rook. This gets an exclam. Surprisingly, it's a really strong move. Rook e8. Bishop e6. And it's like, look at this bishop. It's just wrecking havoc on the king. e6. Trying to see if we can't undermine that pawn and potentially maybe e6, fd4. Knight takes c5. Takes c6. Knight takes c6. B takes c6. Knight c7. And then it's funny, king b. It's surprising you really can't play here, because if you did, you would lose a piece. So this is actually this gets an exclam mark. You win 2 pieces for a rook. 17. You take the pawn there. Rook b8 and b4. Yeah. He's saying that it's kind of hard. This was actually one of a machine. Fritz actually kind of calculated out for him to play, but this is actually what was played. Human move. A4, A5, G3, C takes the pawn, and then B4 pin. And potentially we could play there and get into the same idea that oops, sorry, my bad. It's not that. It's actually b4. Sorry, forgot one move too soon. Bishop b6. They said is a blunder here. This actually loses on the spot. B5. and then knight b8, and then bishop takes e5, you win a pawn. And basically this is a huge advantage. So that's kind of why he retreated back rather than that. Okay, bishop d6. Yeah, this is kind of what he's saying is, it kind of looks, you know, grim for white here, like there's no attack. You know, he says the interesting idea is a potential knight to G, and then maybe G, and then potentially knight to D4 is an interesting idea, kind of to get an attack going. It seems like it's very comfortable for black and also equal, but you have to remember that it's not totally an equal position here. This looks equal, but it's not, because white has some attack in the center on d4, and b5 was actually played and with an exclam mark, so you never get comfortable. Oops, I don't want to hear that one. Never get comfortable with your moves, because this they're saying this is actually a dubious. This was actually played before, and it's very dubious, because knight h5 and then you lose this bishop, and it's like, it's not the best. And that's black the pair of bishops, and there's really nothing that we don't want to give up our pair of bishops. It's soon going to be opening up, which banners the bishop pair. So that's why we kind of just went b5 right away to attack, and then we always have the potential of pushing. e7, knight e7, knight gf. Now we have a an attack coming. Knight d7. Yeah, g6 is an interesting. It would possibly knight g6 is an interesting move, but then now you have d4 idea with, if he takes, then you can actually you win the pair of bishops. So he's not going to take there. He plays bishop d7 and bishop to d3. It's kind of a, it looks like, what in the world, this is still hanging. Yeah, so that's that's that line. Okay, so let's continue onward. We had let's see, d7. All right, right here again. That gets an exclam mark. Oh, good. No, we do some tactics, but right now we're kind of learning the London. We're doing the London, not kind of. We're doing the London system. We're learning the ins and outs on it, so that we can play it better. Because it was played in some of the Blitz recently and Rapid, so I figure if the higher level players are doing it and they're potentially winning with it, I think we should take a look into it. But we will do some tactics too, or puzzles. Yeah, this is actually from this, how to play the London system. We're kind of going over, and the gentleman really talks good in here, so I prefer how he, his writings, and then we go over it and talk about it. Yeah, you know what? The London system may look very dull in some lines, but man, does it spark interest when it's played properly? Woohoo! Yes. Like this is an interesting line. They're saying E takes D. If that actually is played, it's interesting because then you would take back. Bishop takes. D takes E3. F takes E3 and G6. Bishop G6. King F2 because you're wanting to get your king now involved. Because castling would be kind of a silly idea with that open like that. Knight F6 here and Bishop E2. Yeah. It is an interesting imbalance. I think it's pretty interesting, this move here, because black gives up the bishop pair for white's king not being able to castle, but if we see that this is the king really can't castle either, black's king, without having to move his knight, because if he castled right away, the bishop would get not. Yeah, that this is what white's basically going to play on, is the two bishop advantage, and so he'll more likely try to get rid of this pawn, or maybe even just castle by hand. There's also a potential way of castling like that. I've done that before. But he didn't do that. He played, rather than that, he played bishop to G6 because he didn't want to go down that line with the bishop here attacking the knight. Black's kind of cramped. And he surrenders his dark squared bishop. So I don't think black wanted to play that way. I don't know if I would play that way. It'd be tempting, but what do you really gain for winning this knight? Not much. You lose one of your bishops. Probably the only time I'd take is if I had a bishop there, or maybe a knight here and then takes, something like that. So E2 is played. It's funny. This is like just on pre. Yeah. The London system is really hard to fight against if you know how to do it properly. The London system deals with, it's more of a system. It deals with a lot of different openings, and it could metamorphosize into different openings. So it's not just stuck on one. There we go. The bishop moves one thing. Well, okay, so let's see, to4. All right, here we go. Now we're attacking the bishop, so b7 or b6. Sweet, c4. You gotta love. I would give that. That gets an exclam from me, and it gets an exclam from him. Yeah. Exactly. This is what it says. White is actually fighting back here. This is pretty darn tootin' scary, because if he takes there, the knight can come rushing in like a wave. And then, oh boy, do you have a lot of attack coming. Because once you get a knight into this point here, you have a powerhouse piece. So you got to be really, really careful. F3, F6 played, and then boom, A5, wham. Wham wham. Yeah, he's gonna force his opponent to either take or play c5, but black says they're nothing doing. I'm not gonna do that. So he just moves his rook, and then b4 comes like piling in like a tidal wave. Wow. Well, he's saying later on. That's what I should mean. I'm sorry. I should say later on he is talking about that. It's kind of funny. He did say that. It does. Oh, I get it. Oh, right. Sorry. It prevents the. That's right. Prevents taking on. This move actually prevents the taking because of bishop takes. Sorry, if he took here. Sorry, that's what he's talking about. If he took here, not the knight, but the bishop takes is a potential idea. It attacks the king. That's kind of what he was saying. The b4 prevents that, and that gets an exclam idea because we're trying to pummel our opponent. So it's d takes c, rook f to d1. Now we're going to be able to take back with a discovery and potentially even double these pawns. That'll be nice, really sweet. So f to d8 to guard, and then e4, 94. That's pretty odd. 94, d4. What did I say? E4 or D? Yeah, E4. I'd probably say yeah. Most likely he's the. Yeah, he is. If he takes there, that is kind of odd. No, I should do that though. So maybe he wrote this. Might have wrote this a little. Let me see, because it says E4, but maybe he meant knight takes, D takes C4. We'll try that. Gotta make sure I did this right. 5. Okay, hold on. Just let me make sure I put all this in right, because I might have maybe missed something. Nope. So far so good. C F95. Oops, forgot an exclam on that one. Hey, good thing I went back over it. Okay, AB8 before exclam. C takes D. Knight takes C. Actually, hold on. Oh, that's the problem. This right here is the sitch. I forgot this line here. I knew something was up. There we go. Because usually when he's not going to allow a piece to be hung. So there's usually a reason that moves. Sometimes I miss those, but we go back through and find them and get them right. See there. So A takes. That's a dubious move, because now he surrenders. He intentionally surrenders the. Oops, gotta turn off the engine. I don't know what the engine on. His bishop here, and it's like, really? Boom. Let's see. What does he take with the king? And then A takes B, and then A6. There, what was played is actually F4, which is an interesting line. It's not the. It's not what would get an exclam, which the exclam line is surprisingly is B takes C, B takes C, and hold on, what? C. What did I miss something again here? Let's see, A6. Hold on. Ay, ay, ay. So we're fine so far. Okay, so takes. We got takes there. F takes. King takes. B takes A. A6. F4. Oh, I see. Okay. So we have B takes. B takes, and then it says D6, but how am I rook D6? How's I doing rook D6? We'll just go with the game. Somewhere along the line, I'm maybe it might have been inputted slightly incorrect, but I doubt that. It might be that I might have put something in wrong. But we'll just keep with the line. 90s. Hold on. Holy ravioli. What did I miss here? Yikesies. Oh boy, let me see. Did I forget? Oh, snap. D4 is fine. Let me start from the beginning I want to make sure. Oh, snap. No. Go back. No, no. What's going on here? Hold on, I'll be right back. Come on. Come on, don't lag on me now. Let's get back to the studies. Okay, move 13, we have to get back to our... Okay, move 13, so D, G, E, let's see, 5, B4, that's good, B6, C4, F6, A5, B8, B4, C takes, bishop takes, takes, let me see here. That's where I made an inaccurate line setup. Okay. After rook, this is the problem right here. Rook FD8. Okay. I gotta delete that. There we go, 94. There we go. That was the problem. So you just gotta sometimes backtrack, and you'll find the move. Don't be afraid to do that. There we go. Yes, I'm happy now. All right, nice. A takes, and then now D6. Here we go. We'll get through this a little more quicker, a tiny bit. Let's see here. King e6. Knight takes the b pawn. And then knight c5 is a mistake. They're saying that this is actually best. F5, F2, knight c5, e takes f, f takes, and then g4 with an exclam. So this gets an exclam here. I gotta go back. This gets an exclam here. Knight g6, f7 check, f7, king f7, and then h3. And this totally cements white's advantage if that was to be played. Okie dokie. So f takes, f takes. Yeah, it is. It's a pawn sacrifice. It is, but some he didn't go for that sack. So there we go. Check. King f5. Wow, c7 gets an exclam move. Because it's making the king have to move on to a file that he doesn't want to move on to, which is f5. Rook f1. These two squares are covered, so the king's just going to have to run. Surprisingly, this move here is an exclam. There's really no way. It's kind of crazy. You'd think, what in the world? This is an exclam? There's really no points to attack because black doesn't have a light squared bishop, and this pawn on e5 guards the entry routes for the bishop coming in. So it's kind of odd, but the king is safe there. It's pretty strange. It's like, whoa. So now we have to get our rook flowing. They're saying best is actually this here. That actually gets an exclam. And then you go b3, knight b3, c4 check, king d3, a4, d2 to attack the rook, rook c1 to move to protect. And this puts black's king in an awkward position because he's kind of getting squeezed. He's getting pretty much squeezed off the side of the board. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like, not good. So knight g6 is playable. E6, knight e6. Now we're trying to put the squeeze on him. And knight c5. Boom, there's a check. We have this cut off, that cut off, that cut off. So he really has two moves, taking these 2 points. And if he goes to e3, that's a double question mark losing move. Or e2, sorry. Because we should have a checkmate there. And if he takes here, that's another double question mark. Oh yeah. Exactly. At this point, I think it's still mate if I'm not mistaken, yeah. So 2 mates on the board. So that's kind of why white missed this move here, which would have led to mate. So it's knight c5, 6, c6. There we go. b5, attacking the knight. D3, knight d3. It's kind of trying to start his Yeah, it does. It forces mate. It forces total mate. And I'm making a kind of London system. I want to make a, I'm trying to do chapters for you guys to go over. Because I'm working on getting a team built so that you guys, all the members then can have access to all these chapters that we're working on. So these, let's see here. Oh, F7. Here we go. F7. King takes the pawn, and knight e6. So now, boy, the bind is starting to be put on the king. Oh boy. Boy, this is not looking too good for black. He's gonna get totally squeezed to the extreme. They're saying a potential answer better would actually have been d2 c8, kind of, to see if he can't get some counter play himself. Then like f3 would be knight f3 would be playable, e4, and bishop f2 exclam, because now you're trying to put the person in mate. You're trying to put, yeah. So knight f7 would, f4 would be playable, c check, f5, e3 double attacks the knight, and basically it would continue with using more and more pressure. But d6 was played. Knight takes g7. Surprisingly, this move here is actually an exclam move for black. It gets out really of any ideas so that potentially the king can maneuver around a little freer, a little more free. And there's no checks on f5. So e6 is, so black still, we got to remember, black still has a passed pawn. His king may be, not as safe as it should, but black does still have a passed pawn. So we got to remember, this is still a threat on e5, pawn e5. So h4. With it, this gets, surprisingly, this gets an exclam. It's like, we don't want his knight to actually come back and trade off for our knight, because we like where our knight is. So this bishop stops that, the knight coming to e7. That's kind of the idea. Rook a8, knight g3 check. Also, I think it moves, if I'm not mistaken, so that the knight can come in with a check too. So d2. Yeah, it says if he went e3 on that one, d7 would be an exclam move right here. Because then we'd start piling up on the knight. That's kind of why I played d2 instead, king d2. So f takes b7, boom. So now we've taken one pawn. We got our a pawn. He's got a e pawn. This is not looking too good for, let's just say, black. White's safer. So d2, d4, knight d4, attacking the rook. They're saying that potentially, let me see here, rook takes a5, and bishop g5 check, c3, a takes, knight takes, and then we come over and grab another pawn, e4, and then knight e2 check. And this knight stops the e-pawn from advancing. Now we got two connected passers, so that's kind of why he didn't take. He played his knight to d4. Let me see, g5, check, d1, king d1. There's also this line as well, c5, knight to e4, e4 and e4, check, that's right, c4, knight d2, check, c3, rook d5. h6 to attack the bishop, and bishop e3. Knight c8, trying to stop the checks. So he's in full out defense. c4 and rook d to d7 right there. And this would be a line that's better for white, not for black, but white. And d5 would get an exclam. Sorry about that, I have to put that in there. So back to the move at hand. Rook b1, check, c2, rook a1, e4, pawn e4. We're trying to remember this pawn is still a passed pawn. So we're not at white's not out of the woods yet. Without white has to worry about the e4 pawn. So it's, you know what, it's not over yet. So never say never, as long as you got a passer like this that you can maybe kind of get going on the board. It'd be nice. a2 check. Let's see, bishop 2-2. Oh, this gets an exclam mark. Okay. Well, if you think about it, it stops the pawn. This bishop stops everything now. It covers these 2 points. So knight c6, a2 check, king c3, knight e2 check, c4. Getting close to almost a victory here. Check. He's getting close. He's getting tightened up. b5 check. Oh, this is getting so intense. We're almost there. I could feel the mate. b6. We almost got black. d5. And then knight f4. Boom. Oh, yes. The tactic. We finally got a tactic. Sweet. See, now that if takes there, which he does, c5 check, d6, and b takes c check. Loving this. c7 check, d8, and it's like, whoa. This actually gets an exclam, by the way. Sorry, I forgot to put that in there. I want to continue on though. This is the fun. This is the fun part when we finally deliver the knockout. Boom. We're up a piece now. e6, e3, bishop check on g5, and our opponent resigns because there's really no hope of victory anymore. He really has, let me see here, what could he actually do? Yeah, like at one point in the game it said that black had space advantage. Yeah, back here I'll show you where the kind of white had an advantage. Right here's this move here, because if you play this right here, I'll show you the line. What happens is you get a line like that and you're in a problem. That's why that was a that was a good move, was if that happened now, it doesn't actually work. Like if you played there and you played here, it doesn't work like it usually did. Like if you played there. So there we go. So that's kind of the knockout on that one. So let's see. I want to see what potentially would be the K. Was there a KO here? Let's turn on the computer. I don't want to move it if I don't have to. So that's basically that, and then we'll do some puzzles, like 2 puzzles, and so he would have to go here, and then we take, oops, sorry, so he would go here, we would take there, he would push the pawn, we would play h4, sorry, here, h4, and then if he queened, we then would we would take, and then take, so we have 3 passed pawns, and I believe we're totally owning on this. You just have to have courage enough to do it. Okay, so let's do a couple puzzles, and then let's do it. Do 2 puzzles, and then I gotta log off. That was a longer game, but to analyze, but it was so worth it. Okay, let's see what we got here. So d5. So we're down. We're up a queen. We do potentially have that. Bishop takes h7. And so then if king takes, we play rook. We can actually at this point, let's see, if we take here, king takes, queen would actually take at that point. Or would it be here, there, there, bishop takes, and then takes. What do you guys think? Hmm? Thinking that that's the that's potentially one of the ideas. Try to see if there's any other idea. So you like h7 too? So you like bishop? I like bishop takes h7. What do you guys think? That's with a check. Sorry, with a check. And then yeah, let's give it a go. Oops. Let's see here. Now we have to decide: do we take with do we take the rook first? Rook takes. Do we see? There's two takes here now. We have to decide: is it that one or that one? Which move do we do first? I kind of like. I like this line here. I like rook takes d5. When bishop takes d5, then we play queen takes f8. What do you guys think? I like that line. It'd be this, this, and then boom, there. Otherwise, if we do it, because if we do this first, sorry, if we do this first, come on, this first, he plays there, we take. I don't really think there's a problem, but why not just trade down? Because if you take, we grab that. But let's see why taking here doesn't work really quick. I want to see why taking there doesn't work. I think it's because of that. Oh, it gets trapped. Oh, mate 3. Snap. Ouch. We'll do one more. Wow. Whoa. Wow, 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 wow. Wow. Okay. Interesting for sure. We have this idea. That's an interesting move. There's a potential takes here. And then you can take there. We have queen here. And I think we get mate. Pawn g6. Pawn g6. What if he plays h6? I'm thinking if we go g6, he might play h6 though to lock it down. Queen h5 first. Oh, g6, okay. Well, queen h5. Are you talking, is this the line you're thinking? Queen H5, and okay, so Rook H7. Is it Rook H7? Rook takes, oops, yikesies, what the? What was that? Yikesies, sorry about that, guys. So, Rook takes H7, is that what you're saying? Rook takes H7? Okay, let's give it a shot. Oh, nice, okay. Snap. That's different to say the least. So probably knight takes at that point. Maybe. And then if the king takes the rook, we bring the queen in. So if the king takes here, we bring the queen in. If he comes there, then we come in here. We can actually check at that point. Sorry, comes there. So knight takes g6. I believe it's knight takes g6. Oh, wait a second. Is the queen trapped? Hold on. Hold on. Are we missing something there? Hold on there. So there's that, and then there's rook. So it's there's either knight takes g6 or rook d7. Let's take a look at rook d7. Okay, so rook d7. Oops, sorry, rook d7. Queen would have to either go to b4 or b8. Either one, then we can come back and grab the pawn. That's one idea. That's if we right there. So if we pulled it here, if he took there, we then could actually bring our queen in. If he runs there, we can actually grab that, but then the queen, oops. So if we took there, sorry, took here, took there, took there, took there. Oops, sorry, took here, queen takes. Then we can actually push potentially. So what do you guys think? I'm kind of stumped at this point. This pawn's going to have to fall one way or another so we can get our queen in. D7. So rook D7. Rook D7. So you're thinking this here. Okay. So here. So there. Here. Okay, there. Okay, if the king comes up, then is that too slow though? So you have to always, with these tactics, you have to always think, is that too slow? They usually have these tactics for like blitz. Sometimes they're quiet moves, like this is a fast attacking move. This right here is a fast attacking move. This is a fast attacking move. But you have to think of what are the responses to those moves. We really don't have a lot of pieces involved. So my teacher taught me you need 3 pieces to checkmate a king. So that's what's making me think that potentially it might be rook to d7, and then what would happen is it would allow us to play knight there. But let's see, rook d7. Let's say queen here. Knight takes. Then he has rook there. We could at that point take, then when the king takes back, we bring our queen in. Then he's got a check there. So maybe we chase the queen around a little bit, kind of just tickle the queen. If he plays there, we play here. If he comes back, we play there. But then he can actually play knight takes. I'm sorry, if we play here, he goes there. Play there, he comes back. If we play knight, then he can actually take with the knight. So we can't really do that. Trying to see if potentially this doesn't, because we do, if in theory, have three pieces. Once this comes in, once the queen comes in, we have a pawn. Boy. I really don't see anything potentially but knight takes g6 that actually has any attacking teeth to it, but I want to look to see if this doesn't have anything. Now we don't have any entry points for the... Man, I don't really... maybe we can actually take here, but if we do that, then he can actually just play an out win there. Well, this is you have to be really intense for this move. Let me see here. Yeah. Rook e1 is an idea. This potentially would, Queen e1 would be an idea. Yeah. Is it too slow though? I'm gonna go with knight takes g6. I'm gonna go for it. Don't tell me. Don't tell me it's this. You're kidding me. Can't he just flee? Can I just take there? Oh, mate 4, okay. We'll do one more. We'll do one more. One sec, I'll be right back. Guys, take a look at this and put in some moves and we'll go over it. Queen G5. Let's see. Queen G5 is interesting, so let's take a look here. Just one sec. Let's see kind of what. Okay, comes there. We're attacking there. So. Yeah, that does take advantage of 2 points, doesn't it? Yeah. So if we play here, then he brings his queen in. We take, knight takes, then we take, and we're up a whole piece at that point. Yeah, because the line would go if we did queen h5, queen h4, queen takes h4, knight takes h4, and then king takes h2, and we're up in an exchange. That should be the line. Well, then maybe I am wrong on that. Hold on, that I think then he can actually play if I'm not mistaken, knight takes g2. That'd be horrible. Uh-oh. I forgot about knight takes g2. Oh, drat, I missed that, because that does away with that defender. So if we go here, 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 there. If we take here, he'll take there. We take back. Bishop takes. So we'd be equal material at that point, and he'd have check. Okay, yeah. Boy, that is kind of a interesting situation. Maybe we first play there. That might be an interesting idea. I think I'm gonna go. I think bishop to g5, bishop g5. Oops, all right, bishop g5. That's protected by this here. So bishop g5. When the queen, we'll say, moves, Then we just move up and grab the bishop. And we're up a whole piece at that point. I believe that's the move. Trying to see if there's anything. Then if he plays here, so okay, hold on. If he plays here, we play there. We still can. At that point, we can just grab there. Oh wow, that. So he can't block here. Yeah. Yeah, we'll call it a day on that one. See, the reason this move right here isn't, it'd be a good move, but the only problem is if he plays here. Oh, you can actually take there though, right? Okay. So that works right along. Okay. So it's kind of interesting. They both potentially had winning ideas, but this right here, it takes there, takes. Oh, a fork. Okay, that's the reason. Okay. Do you guys have any other questions on this line at all? Any of these lines? Do you have any other moves you would like to go over before I log off? Are you guys good? Yeah. Alrighty. Well, guys, you know what? Keep pushing forward. Remember, you always gotta remember to do this. That sometimes go with your gut. Like we should have went with the rook to d7. That we tried to force a combination that kind of potentially may have worked, but wasn't concrete of an idea. So if you have a concrete idea when you're playing a game, just do the concrete idea and play that. Don't try to force something that isn't there. And remember that day after day of study is how you get better. That's just the whole thing. You have to love the study and love the endurance that it takes, because it's not going to be easy to become great. But trust me, when like we always talk about coal, when a coal is finally turned into a diamond, coal when it's coal isn't valuable, but a diamond is. So just remember, during the times that you're under the pressure becoming a diamond, just keep pushing forward, okay? And you know what? That's this whole thing. Like Hannibal Smith, remember, it's not that you have a move, it's that you know what your move's about, and even beyond that, you know what your opponent's going to do, and you've planned for that. That's a plan, he said. And I believe tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, that there's the Paris Grand Tour is still on the Blitz part of it. So if you guys are interested in watching that, it's going to be on, and it'll be the really fun. So I'm going to watch that. And just remember, learn from your mistakes and keep pushing forward. And we'll leave you with this. As Wesley So says, through the Lord Jesus, I say God bless, and I'll see you next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, and evening. and I'll be back on, Lord willing, tomorrow to do some more studies, some more games, some studies, some tactics, and more learning. Okay, guys? You guys keep doing good. Bye bye. Be blessed.